formidable robot.
The name's Jay, short for Jason, long for Jai. You may remember me from my previous post, an experience that was a long time ago yet still haunts me, but I am not going to get into that, as the experience of it all is still traumatizing, and my parents are still trying to calm me down from it. I recovered from it, completely hydrated and fed, and kept up with my hygiene. I made some decent progress here, but since then, I've been doing something to keep my mind off of what happened in the past and do something interesting. I had been hunting through some decade-old media archives for weeks now. I've been looking for fragments of forgotten shows and band episodes online, and I will admit my work as a media archivist wasn't as exciting as one could imagine. I mean, I am just sitting there at my computer, looking for random crap from the past, browsing through places like the Internet Archive and other sites that would risk my computer getting a virus. However, one evening, I visited a friend of mine, a massive nostalgic nerd, and let's call him Jacob. I know, very creative. He had these discs and tapes of what I am looking for, just forgotten shows and band, and of course, lost episodes. But one of them caught my eye, an unmarked reel simply labeled, Mario and the End of the Line. It looked ancient, coated with dust, and its edges cracked. It was listed as part of the Super Mario Bros. Super Show collection but was never aired. The thing is, I had no VCR to even test it out, but Jacob did, and he was curious about the episode himself. So he told me to stay and that we could watch something together. I knew Jacob for a while, and the other reason why I chose to arrive at his house is not only for me to knock ancient media off his hands but to hang out with him a bit. So I motioned Jacob to put the tape into the VCR, and so he did. The screen flickered, and then it played the normal intro of the show. It was perfect, nothing about the animation and audio suggested anything was off at first. Then it showed the live action segment. This segment started with the title, The Plumber's Tomb, as the camera panned into the Mario Brothers plumbing shop. It was cluttered and dusty, but the brothers were doing some spring cleaning in the basement, which was kind of creepy and dark. It looked far creepier and darker compared to the one shown in the live-action segment for Princess I Shrunk the Mario Brothers. Then Luigi uncovered an old cobweb-covered crate labeled, Do Not Open, property of Professor Kupenstein, 1959. This is where the plot began. Mario and Luigi, curious as ever, cracked it open and found a strange ancient-looking golden pipe wrench embedded in what seemed to be a small stone pedestal. It had odd symbols and seemed to glow faintly when touched. Mario spoke, as always, in an overly eager tone.
Hey Paisano, maybe this is one of those legendary plumbing tools foretold by the pipe prophets.
Luigi responded in his nervous tone, typical of the younger brother.
Mario, I think we'd better put it back before we unleash an ancient toilet curse or something.
I chuckled a bit at Luigi's behavior, as Mario dismisses his concern and then tries to pull the wrench out in this Indiana Jones style. When he does so successfully, the lights flicker, and for a moment, a low unnerving howl echoes through the pipes. Luigi jumped back out of fear as he spoke.
Mamma mia, did you hear that? It sounded like a ghost, or worse, a leaky faucet.
Mario rolled his eyes and threw his hands into the air as he said,
Don't be ridiculous, Luigi. It's just a plumbing echo. But maybe we should give this a once-over before messing with it.
Then suddenly a postcard slides in under the shop door. It's blank, except for one faint message scribbled in wet ink with a single text. The end of the line begins below. The two brothers stared in confusion as the camera slowly zoomed in on the glowing artifact. Then the animation begins. Jacob and I watched closely, pretty entertained by what was shown in the live-action segment and looking forward to what would be shown next. It started immediately with Mario and Luigi receiving a letter, the kind you almost wouldn't really see in the show, plain and weathered, sealed with a faded red stamp. The message was short and urgent, stating the following as Mario and Luigi read it together.
Find the Star of Time. It's the key to saving the Mushroom Kingdom.
I thought to myself, Star of Time? This sounded like something straight out of Legend of Zelda, but regardless, the two set out. They weren't cheerful, they just felt serious, as hinted in their voices as their smiles disappeared. They traveled through the Mushroom Kingdom lands, everything was eerily silent too. The usual birds chirping, toads chatting, and the markets full of activity were all gone. Then it showed that the place had broken signs, abandoned stalls, and dead plants. The color palette appeared muted, just dull greens, grays, and browns were present in the scenes. The place looked like the Mushroom Kingdom was in the middle of a war, the setting appeared foggy as well, and even some of the grass appeared dead. Mario and Luigi were calmly walking across the ghost town. They spoke little but noticed strange things. Faces were in the windows, staring at the brothers, and even they themselves appeared faceless as they rubbed their eyes only to find nothing there, probably hallucinations or something caused by something floating around in the air. At one point, they pass a painting on a crumbling wall. It depicts a grand kingdom inside of light, but the colors started to drip into the darkness as faces in the painting were in sorrow and fear. Luigi stops, then traces the image with his fingers as he asks,
"What happened here?"
Mario only shrugs. Then the two kept walking and were met with something unfortunate. They first encountered Toad sitting on steps, head in hands, mumbling to himself.
Time slips. It slips away. Too much is lost.
Mario approaches gently, Luigi following him as Mario asks,
"What do you mean?"
Toad looked up, eyes teared up, as he weakly spoke.
The star. It's gone. Without it, we would fall apart.
They left Toad, nodding in understanding, and then came to meet the others. Peach appeared briefly in a dreamlike vision as she warned Mario and Luigi, saying,
Time is a river, but sometimes it circles back to drown.
Then Bowser, better known as King Koopa in the series. He wasn't like his usual menacing self, he felt distant and defeated. Mario and Luigi took a stance as if they were about to fight King Koopa, assuming he was the cause of this, but then he turned as King Koopa spoke to Mario.
"Do not seek the star."
After that scene, after a long journey, they reach a cavern lit by a giant clock with hands spinning too fast and too slow at once, and then finally, the Star of Time was shown glowing at its center. Mario steps forward, holding his hands out, while trembling in the process. The screen lingers on close-ups of Mario's face and Luigi's worried eyes and the glowing of the star as a montage plays silently of past moments from previous episodes, whatever this one followed and whatever season it was a part of, laughter turning to sighs, and celebrations turning into loneliness. Then Luigi breaks the silence, voice soft and steady.
"What if some things can't be fixed? What if we're already too late?"
Mario places his hand onto Luigi's shoulder as he speaks while looking down, then looking at Luigi in the eyes as he speaks.
"We won't give up. That's what we do."
The star fades into the darkness as the episode cuts to black, as Mario and Luigi are just now sitting in complete darkness, saddened as Mario says,
"Time moves only forward, but sometimes it leaves us behind."
Luigi held onto Mario and hugged him tightly as the final live-action segment began to play. The title card shows Brooklyn's Breath, as it pans back into the same basement scene earlier, however with a few differences. The lighting was dimmer, the golden pipe wrench has been placed back into the crate. Dust was in the air, as shown in the lighting. A quiet hum from the pipes resonates softly. Brooklyn itself feels off, eerily still. Mario and Luigi come back from whatever they've done off-screen after the first segment, incredibly tired. They don't speak at first. For once, the usual background music, specifically the many variations of the overworld theme from the first Super Mario Bros., was absent. The only thing heard was footsteps. Mario stared into space, his voice softer than usual, almost as if what happened off-screen deeply affected him as he said,
"I thought beating that thing would fix everything."
Luigi, sounding quiet, eyes darting around the room as he spoke to Mario.
"Maybe it wasn't just about fixing it. Maybe we had to let it go too."
Mario walked up the stairs and then glared out the window. Brooklyn was just a desolate wasteland. Mario tearing up in the process, Luigi staying close, as Mario thought about his friends, family and anyone they knew out there, completely wiped away from the force caused by the artifact. Then Mario stared back at the golden pipe wrench down the stairs. It starts glowing faintly again, but this time, warmly. The shop's old pipes gently rattle like they are waking up. Through a tiny grate, faint laughter was heard, children were playing, and distant car horns. Brooklyn was coming back. Mario ran over to the window, brushing dust off the frame, then looked out and gasped as he called over Luigi.
Luigi, look! Look outside!
Luigi rushes to him. The camera slowly turns to show them both smiling tearfully outside the window. It felt as though the tears were genuine, and the set was hurting the actors inside and making them think they went through it. Brooklyn was alive and back. It was bright and sunny as people walked by, and a pizza cart vendor honked his horn and waved at the two brothers from the window. They turned to each other as Luigi asked, while choked up.
You think this means the curse is gone?
Mario teared up, voice cracking with a smile as he spoke.
No curse can stand up to two plumbing brothers with heart.
They both hugged tightly, no joke this time, just sincere as a long pause. The music finally returns, but it was slow, nostalgic and warm. Then a tiny ding was heard in the background as the toaster was heard popping, then the two both jumped and laughed. Luigi says,
Hey, toast's done.
And then Mario responds,
There's nothing better than ghost busting on an empty stomach.
They walk off screen with arms around their shoulders, and then the episode ends. Instead of the usual Do the Mario, all that was heard was the quiet music box rendition of the theme. It wasn't anything creepy, but it was evoking reflection and peace. Jacob ejected the tape from the VCR as we both leaned back. My heart was pounding, but it was just a story about loss and time, told through characters I thought I knew. We were looking at the tape as we started thinking that the episode felt like a message, a secret warning buried beneath layers of nostalgia. We both placed the tape back into the VCR to watch again and rewind again for specific details we missed, searching for answers, only to find more questions. Until that scene where the brothers hugged in the ending of the final live-action segment, there was something to it, so my friend and I decided to research this episode and even used the Wayback Machine on a few blog posts. However, keep in mind whoever's reading this, take these following posts with a grain of salt, as they can easily be anonymous people pretending to have worked on the team, but still, it's pretty interesting. According to a former crew member, that part wasn't scripted. The actors, Lou Albano, Mario, and Danny Wells, Luigi, were disturbed at what happened on set, broke down, and hugged on their own in real tears. It wasn't a part of the scene, but the directors left it in because it felt right. But nobody could explain why both men had reacted with such sorrow. According to the article, it was like something broke through the script, recalled by the crew member who was left anonymous. I have seen these guys laugh through bad writing, improvise entire scripts. But that day, they didn't even crack a single joke between takes. Lou behaved strangely during the day. The production wrapped up that day with no celebration. The set was cleared earlier than usual. Then, some unknown employees from Nintendo have quietly removed the crate containing the golden pipe wrench prop, despite it not being official company property. It's likely that Nintendo did something with the prop that caused effects on the two actors on set before they brought it into the set. I could have sworn I remember seeing that artifact on display in the junior playtesting program. Mr. Albano, who normally enjoyed greeting the studio kids and fans, reportedly left the building without saying goodbye. He just walked to his car and drove off. I still reddened. Another post, which was leaked and was created in July 2009 by user VCRTech91, was also deleted, which was both done by Nintendo, and read like this. The final segment was just wrong. The lighting was colder and flatter, and Danny didn't do any of his usual improvising. Lou kept asking the director if they really had to shoot the final hug again, saying it felt too heavy. We didn't use laugh tracks or background music like usual. Someone from the set described the scene as if it was happening in a funeral home, literally like they were grieving someone, and the people in Brooklyn genuinely meant something to them. No one remembers writing that part of the script, not even the showrunner. That wasn't just the weirdest part. It was typed, not handwritten, and printed on a different paper, all pale yellow. The script just appeared in the morning pile. When the camera stopped, the whole crew just stood there. We all felt it. It's like something passed through the room. Then a PA came over to Danny and asked if he was okay. He just said, "I think that was the last time we ever went home," and then he left. Some other text in the blog also states that when the next episode was being recorded after that one, again no specific episode was mentioned. The articles were not specific, they said, and I quote, "Since that day, the two came back, behaving like nothing happened, as if the episode was never filmed. Even when we asked them about the episode, Lou replied, 'What scene?' Then awkward silence as Lou walked away. The same question was asked to Danny, who was also confused but laughed it off, and how they got to keep children entertained. Sure, that episode had a somewhat happier ending than I thought, but judging by my experiences so far, Nintendo still hasn't earned my forgiveness. Never will, and some say that this episode was meant as a send-off. One last ride of the show. But I don't think so. I don't think it was made to do so but to bury something, and it almost worked. Nintendo, I am not done with discovering these truths about you. I will get to the bottom of this. You are on hot water right now, especially for what you did to me and the many children, with most of them dying due to what you did to us many years ago. I will avenge them, and I heard about that theme park, Super Nintendo World. I know there are secrets to be awaited there, beneath the surface. I know, I told myself that I would stay away from anything Nintendo related, but I think for those dead children, I will have to do it. I am coming for you, Super Nintendo World.